Hello again. In the last tutorial, I showed you how to uh, animate this sprite right here by pressing the F button like that, and he animates. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you about an event listener with this button. So what I want to happen is when I click on this button, I want this character right here to move in an upward way. So let's go ahead and get started on that. But if you notice, my button is not exactly in the middle. If I go back here and I show you this little piece right here where it says set position, he should be in the middle, right? Because I'm getting the size of the stage and I'm dividing it by 2 in the X, and I'm dividing it by the Y by 2. So that should give me the halfway point of my screen. But when you take a look at it, it's a bit off. There's a reason for that. The reason for that is because the anchor point is at the top left. So the anchor point is around here. So since it is in the top left, it is centering my image at the top left of the image. So I want it to be in the middle right here. The way you do that is very simple. You can call a function called setAnchor right there. And I'm going to pass it 0.5 and 0.5. That will put the anchor point on the halfway in the image. So when I compile this, come on, it's right there in the middle. So now my anchor point is right there in the middle. Just a little tidbit there for you. So now let's get to actual event. The way you add an event to a class is very simple. You call the function add event listener, and in here you're gonna need the type of event. Since I want it to be clicked, you need to get the touch event class and grab the click. That way, when my button is clicked, it will call the event. It will call the function that I want it to. So in the other parameter, I'm going to put a closure. This. And I'm going to pass it the function that I want. So I'm going to name this function move character. That's what I'm going to name it. Let's go ahead and create this function over here. So it's going to be a void move character. Now, since the event listener is going to be calling this function, it needs a parameter of event. It needs to be a pointer. And now I want to communicate with my other class, which is the character class. So I want to make a pointer to it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in that class, the header. I'm going to say SP character, and I'm going to name it player. Now that we have what we need in our header, I'll go to CPP. In my constructor first, though. Oh, we forgot to do something. In the constructor, I'm going to put a parameter of SP character, because I'm going to be passing in the character to my constructor in main CPP. Let's go ahead, main character over here. I'm gonna name this PLY. So now player variable equals the PLY. So now I got a pointer to that. So now I'm gonna create this function here for that event listener. So play button, move character, event parameter, EV. Now in here, I'm gonna say player, and we're gonna point to the function that we want it to call. We haven't made this function yet, so I'm just gonna name it right here. And I'm gonna name it move up. And I'm gonna pass it the event. Don't worry that it's red. We haven't made this function yet. So in here, in our character header, we're gonna go ahead and create that function now. Void move up. It's gonna need an event. Oops. There you go. Now in the CPP, I'm gonna create that. Void move up. Event. Oops. Forgetting the class. There you go. EV. Now in here, I'm gonna make two variables. These two variables, one of them is gonna be destination, where I want it to go, and the other one is gonna be the screen size. So I'm gonna make a vector2 screen size equals get stage, and we're gonna get the size of it. Get the size. There it is. There you go. Now we're gonna make another vector2 variable. Call it dest for destination. It is gonna be a vector2. And in the X direction, I want it to go all the way to the edge of the screen. Since I'm passing it the value of the screen size, when I move this, it will go all the way to the right. I'm gonna give it a 0 for Y. That way, it moves upward. Since the screen is 0, 0, your top left, and I'm giving a destination of screen size X, it'll go all the way to this corner to the right, and in the Y direction, it will go all the way up. So we're gonna have an upward right movement. So right now, I need to create the tween queue. We need to create a variable for tween queue. I'm gonna call this variable tween queue, and I'm gonna say new tween queue. There it is. New tween queue. So now to this tween queue, I'm going to add the tween. Let's go ahead and add. I'm going to call the class sprite, and it is a tween position. Since we want to change the position, we need to call the position, and we need to pass it our destination variable. Now we want to tell it how fast it should do it, like the duration of the position, the tween to the position. So I'm gonna say 1 second. I want this to move from beginning to start in 1 second. And then how many loops you want it to do, I just want it to do ones. And that's it. So now I need to add this tween Q to this object in order for it to actually tween. So I'm going to go ahead and tween Q, add that in. Now it has it. Now, once this tween stops, it has already reached its destination. I want it to delete the object. So the way I do that is tween Q set detach actor. You're gonna call that function. And you're gonna pass it a Boolean. I'm gonna say true. So now, once it's done, it will detach the actor, it will delete it. Now, in the main, since we changed the constructor to accept a parameter, we're gonna give it the player. Right there. Now, I'm gonna save the whole thing. Now when I compile, we're gonna give this a test. Whoop, not yet. Tween Q to actor. Okay, so I see the problem. This error right here, if you get an error like this, if you notice right here, it says add child. That's not what you do to add a tween to an object. You say add tween. This is the function you use to add a tween to an object. So now when I compile, it all builds. So when I look at the tree, I see that I have my character and my button. So now, remember that this button has an event listener. This is what we're going to test right now. So when I click, he should go up this direction. Let's go ahead and find out. Oh, there he goes. Now, if you remember, I added this function right here, set detach actor. Once he was done up here, he should have been deleted. Let's find out. He is nowhere to be found. He's gone into the cosmos of wherever he went. So that's it. Now you know how to do an event listener. In the next tutorial, I'm thinking about doing how to add Box 2D with the Oxygine framework. But if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comments. Have a good day.